As we reach the fall of 2022, it's time to take a look at the best GMRS radios out there in the marketplace. Hi, and welcome to the Gadget Talk channel, where we do reviews and how-tos on a variety of electronic gadgets that catch my eye. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. In this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the best GMRS radios at this point in 2022. I admit that the idea of the best is a very subjective construct. What is best for me may not be what's best for you. So, with that in mind, let me lay out some criteria for these ratings. The extent that these criteria are important to you will determine the meaningfulness of the choices. So, let's go. The first criterion is cost. I'll look at some higher cost models at the end of the video, so please stay tuned. But the radios in the main category will be priced from about $30 to $50 US. Next is features. Here are some advanced features that will raise a radio's ratings. First is access to NOAA weather channels. When you're out and about, being able to get a current forecast is important if things start to look ugly weather-wise. Next is access to broadcast FM. In emergencies, having access to official information from a broadcast source can be the difference between life and death. FM access will raise a radio's score. Radios with extra programmable receive-only channels will also score higher. These radios will appeal to intermediate users and those interested in emergency communications and prepping. Radios with extra channels normally have scanning functions and keypads that allow direct access to the desired channels. Another important feature in this review is what I call do-it-yourself or DIY GMRS channels. Different radios and manufacturers implement this differently, but what it basically means is that you can program extra or duplicate GMRS channels into the radio and assign different CTCSS or DCS codes to those channels. DIY channels allow you to program in repeaters or simplex channels with different codes for different cities or with different groups. This allows you to access a different repeater or interact with a different group without going into the radio's menu system and changing the codes. The last feature I'll include in the ratings is the availability of a customer programming software application. The CPS will allow you to more easily program the extra channels using your computer rather than lots of key presses on the radio's faceplate. So, here are my choices. In fourth place is the BaoFeng UV9G. The UV9G is available on Amazon and on the Radioddity.com website for the same price. Amazon Prime members may save some bucks on shipping. Depending on what else you buy, you may cross the free shipping threshold at Radioddity.com too. My affiliate link to Radioddity is in the description below and will save you some on the price, so be sure to check that out. One difference between this radio and the others on the list is that the UV9G has an IP67 waterproof rating. Having fewer receive-only channels at 128 costs some points on my ratings list. It comes with a programming cable as waterproof radios use a different accessory connection. Depending on how important the waterproof rating is to you as opposed to the number of channels, this radio could make the top of the list. In third place is the BTEC GMRS V2. BTEC normally bases its radios on BaoFeng chassis and upgrades some of the components to improve overall quality. The BTEC GMRS version 2 is based on the UV9G from BaoFeng, but has 200 receive-only channels as well as the DIY, FM, and NOAA channel availability. It uses Chirp as its CPS. Tied at first place in this full-featured, low-cost category are the Radioddity GM30 and BaoFeng GM-15Pro GMRS radios. For all intents and purposes, they're the same radio. You can even program both using the GM30 CPS. With that in mind, pick the one that's on sale. I like dealing with Radioddity and have an affiliate link to them listed below. I've also had my GM30 longer than my GM15Pro, so that's my bias going in. Amazon has the GM15Pro on sale right now, so it's cheaper, and I like Amazon's easy returns and free 2-day shipping if you're a Prime member. Radioddity also sells through Amazon, and the GM30 is just a couple of bucks more right now on sale. Both radios meet the criteria in terms of DIY channels, receive-only channels, NOAA channels, and FM broadcast access. Neither is waterproof. An honorable mention in this category is the Retevis RA-85 GMRS radio. This one didn't make the list because it's limited to 60 channels that can be programmed to duplicate GMRS channels only. The CPS doesn't allow non-GMRS frequencies. It does have NOAA channels and FM broadcast bands accessible through one of the radio's 2 side keys. Before we look at the high-priced radios, here are a couple of radios I considered but left off the list. First is the BaoFeng GM-15Pro. This radio didn't make the list due to its cost and the fact that it's a single-band radio. That means there are no NOAA channels or programmable channels in the VHF range. It's a good basic GMRS radio, but for the limited feature set, it's kind of pricey. Next is the BaoFeng UV5X, or sometimes seen as the UV5G. These inexpensive GMRS radios work fine, but they don't have any DIY GMRS channels and only 85 receive-only channels when you subtract the 30 GMRS channels and the NOAA channels from the 128 total. Their low costs make them a good basic GMRS radio, though. The list also didn't include any GMRS radios from Midland. Those are solid, basic radios without many bells and whistles. They are okay for what they are, but they didn't make the cut based on the features that I had chose. Now, as promised, let's look at a couple of higher-priced options for those who have the budget to go with a higher-cost radio. Both of these radios are made by Oshan. First is the KG-935G GMRS radio. The KG-935G is a full-featured radio with all the features listed in my selection criteria and more. This radio includes IP66 dust and weather protection and includes a nice full-color screen. As of today, it's available from buytwowayradios.com for $135 US. The Oshan brand has a good reputation, and the cost is just a little outside my defined criteria. With 999 available channels, this dual-band radio might be worth the extra cost to a lot of you. Next up is also a Oshan radio. Better Safe Radios, as I understand it, worked with Oshan to manufacture radios with their requested features and modifications. So the Ocean UV9G Pro GMRS radio is a Better Safe Radio's exclusive. At $179 US, it's the most expensive radio on the list. You get some cool extra features for the cost, including extra frequency bands, including AM airband for monitoring FAA air traffic control and scanning groups, so you can divide your extra frequencies into subcategories. Besides the airband, the radio also includes the FM broadcast band, the 230 MHz VHF band, the 350 MHz UHF band, and the 400 MHz UHF band, as well as the 700 MHz UHF band. The radio also comes pre-programmed with hundreds of what Better Safe Radio calls its SHTF frequencies, including marine band, railroad frequencies, some public safety frequencies, and dozens of others. Frankly, this is a prepper's GMRS radio. If you're big into emergency preparedness and prepping, this model is certainly worth a look. Okay, so there you have it. My choices for the best GMRS radios in the moderate cost but full-featured category. GMRS is a growing radio service, and the recent reduction in the cost of a GMRS license has added even more growth. I've got reviews on several of these radios here on the Gadget Talk channel, as well as some explainer videos on what GMRS is and isn't, and on using GMRS repeaters. I'll link my GMRS playlist at the end card to this video. Again, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to leave a comment if you have another radio you think should be on the list. Thanks for watching.